Now, live from the Patriot Detroit Radio Complex, this is the John McCulloch Show.
The main reason why we have to get it done.
Are you surprised that Senator Al Franken will not resign after these pictures have come out?
Well, obviously, I think that's going to be taken up by the Ethics Committee, and I'll let them begin the process. I share everyone else's view on it, and that's unacceptable and clearly, something that I think has outraged a lot of people. But they're going to have an Ethics Committee investigation. I'm confident of it. I know Democrats have even called for it. And we'll wait and learn more details. And based on that, we'll see where the road leads on this thing.
But it's not like he just said something to a girl. I mean, this is when she was sleeping.
Yeah, and I don't think he's denied his behavior,
no, he hasn't.
which we all find to be unacceptable. And to his credit, he's owned up to it. Now the question is, what are the consequences for it?
Now, here's John.
And welcome into the Monday edition of the McCulloch Show here on FM 101.5 and AM 1400, The Patriot. Glad you could join us for the fastest hour of local Detroit talk radio, where your host continues serving his life sentence in reality. Be advised, here all lives matter. There is no political correctness. There are no safe zones for the snowflakes. And where if you can be triggered, well, you'll be triggered here. Glad you could be with us. I had an interesting situation come up today where I'm going to share it with you. And get some comment on the way it made me feel, because it's kind of a positive negative thing. I had lunch with some people, great patriots, God-fearing folks all, and we discussed a lot of really important things for Michigan, for the United States, and what we didn't discuss was pretty much indicative of what we did discuss, if that makes any sense. And when I was done with it, and I went out into the car and I turned on the radio, I had to leave early because of some circumstances, and I turned on the radio and I thought, what in the heck are we running here? A snowflake farm? This whole thing has just gotten out of hand. For us to sit here and assume that these nuts in Hollywood didn't know what was going on for the last 50 years? Come on. That these people in the swamp in Washington don't know what's going on and haven't known what's going on? To be sitting around worried about what Al Franken does? Who cares what Al Franken does? Let him handle it with the people he handles it with. We don't need congressional rules. We don't need congressional training. Get the doggone training at home where it belongs. You people need to learn how to act. It's as simple as that. And where we have proof that it was done, take action on it and be done with it. I'm sick and tired of hearing about Hillary Clinton and Uranium One. Who cares? Arrest her. Toss her butt in jail. That's where she belongs, and that's where her husband belongs. We're not running a snowflake farm. This isn't a place for people to come play Antifa and get baseball bats and beat each other up and have little revolutions here and little revolutions there. This is the greatest country on the face of the earth. And we have great positive things happening and the potential for more great positive things to happen. And all these distractions with all this garbage is beginning to prey on my sanity. Some will say it has already taken an effect. Those closest to me will say that it's already taken an effect. But there are things going on in this country now that definitely need attention, that definitely need to be taken care of. But all these accusations and this stuff flying back and forth, and how many times are we going to throw the Clintons under the bus, and how many times is Mitch McConnell going to show himself up to be the fat cat, rhino, establishment bozo that he is? Pardon me, but that's the way I feel. We don't need all this stuff. There's too much good to be done, too much good going on. Donald Trump's right in the middle of it. You people on the outside who never Trumpers and all this other garbage that is flowing out of the swamp is non-productive, non-American. It's not doing anybody any good. We got politicians from the United States over in Europe now, just bad-mouthing Donald Trump. Wow, what good does that do? That shows you're a real patriot. You're a real countryman. You're a real trooper for the people out there in middle America who elected this guy to get this country moving again. Why don't you just shut up for a while? We sat today and talked about good things that are happening in Michigan, good things that are going untold, that are going to start to get told on this program. We sat and talked about good people in Michigan, good people with good intentions who are attempting to fight the swamp, and how the swamp is crept and crapped its way all the way into Michigan. And it needs to be ferreted out, exposed. But I'm just beginning to get the feeling that we're turning into a snowflake farm. Every time somebody turns around and says something, you got to be afraid of what you're saying for fear you're going to trigger somebody. Trigger what? Don't you people... Hello? Didn't you people grow up? What is the matter with you? I don't know where it is that some of you get the nerve to come out and say some of the things you say and then expect people to support you because of it. You need to remember, thanks to Nick from Warren, that our rights don't stop when somebody else's feelings are hurt. That is just plain bunk. Feelings do get hurt. And you little snowflakes with your Play-Doh and your safe rooms and all that are going to find that out all too soon. Have I ranted a bit? Perhaps, but you know, it's a Monday. I'd like to hear what you think about what I just said. Did it rile you? Did it upset you? Did it inspire you? Did it motivate you? Motivate you to maybe get involved, find out what's going on around you, not be triggered by every other word you see and hear. Not run home crying when your feelings get hurt. Not run to your professor to see if he'll rescue you with a pound of Play-Doh. Some of you'd take a truckload of it. 800-923-9385 is our number. That's 800-923-WDTK. I'd like to see the lines light up. I'd like to see what you think about this little luncheon I had today, where I felt so good when I walked out of there, and then I turned on the radio, and I literally thought the snowflakes were going to start falling inside the car. Bunch of wusses, wimps, weenies. I can't believe it. There's so much good to be done if you'll just get involved and find out what's going on around you. We are lucky to have the president we have. 800-923-9385. That's 800-923-WDTK. You can reach us via text if you wish. Just go to your smartphone's app store and search WDTK. Download the WDTK app, install it, open it up. You'll get all the great Salem hosts. You'll get them on real time. You'll get them in podcasts. You'll get me in real time and in podcasts. You get the McCulloch Minutes. Get all kinds of features. One feature on there allows you to text into the studio. And for those of you watching on Facebook Live, it comes into this screen right here. The texts come in real time. They come in very fast. I read all of them. Don't share all of them, but I get a lot of great ideas from some of them. And it's a great addition to the show. So text or call, let's get it going. 800-923-9385. That's 800-923-WDTK. We'll start things out with Bobby in New Baltimore on the Patriot. Hi, Bobby.
Hey, John. Good evening, and thanks for taking my call. And as usual, your preface was spot on. I agree with everything you said. It inspired me to make a comment and ask you a question about this pertaining to the Judge Moore election in December in Alabama. I want to know what you think about this, John. I think he's going to win, irregardless of what the negative press of, the mainstream media, CNN, MSNBC, even Fox News, and all the networks are doing against him. And I think the people are going to see right through it, just like they did when the video came out of Trump coming off the bus and saying all the nasty negative words. What do you think, John?
I think, Bobby, that you are right. And here's why. And because nobody has shown me anything yet that says that there's any reason he shouldn't win. Somebody shows me something that's proof. Somebody shows me something that's meaningful. Fine, I'll consider it. I haven't seen anything. Nothing.
Yes.
So I think you're right. I think he is going to win. The other reason I think he's going to win is all the polls that said everything else was, the flip-flop of what it really was. In the last election, they're all coming out saying he's going to lose, so there's another indication he's going to win. But I think he's going to win until somebody shows me something that says he shouldn't. I'm going to, I'll push for him. Simple as that. Have a good one, Bobby. Have yourself a great night. 800-923-9385. That's 800-923-WDTK. Here's Tim in Westland on the Patriot. Hi, Tim.
Hey, John. It's been a minute. I've talked to you in the past about like psychological warfare and such concepts like that. And listening to you talk about people getting triggered, the word trigger to me is a psychological warfare concept. And are all these people, these millennial college students, have their minds been so warped by the professors and teachers they've had from the public school system that they've been told it's okay to get angry if you hear a word that bothers you?
Yes.
You know what I mean? And it's nothing short of psychological warfare to me. And they've been destroying the minds of human beings in these places.
And if I wear a sombrero on Cinco de Mayo, I am guilty of, get this, cultural appropriation. Cultural appropriation.
It's silly. Leftists put a couple of words together, that don't contradict each other in the same sentence, and they think, oh, well, this is a good thing. We'll use the word, like what you just say, cultural appropriation.
Yes. And
it seems silly to me. And on Judge Moore, what's his name, Senate McConnell, saying they wouldn't seat him, I had sent you a text that in Article 1, Section 5 of the Constitution, if he were to win, if the Republicans can get enough Democrats to go along with it by 2/3 vote, they could unseat him. They don't need any reason to do it. They can, by their own rules, send him packing. But that would require bipartisanship. I'd like to see that happen.
Well, these lily-livered, weenie Republicans, who knows? Enough of them might go along with it just to say they did it.
Yeah, but then some Democrats would have to agree with Republicans, and I don't see that happening. They'd get triggered.
Hey, I wonder, there's a great organization in Detroit. But Detroit is actually the birthplace of one of the largest advertising clubs in the world called Ad Crafters. And on certain days, they have certain, luncheon days for various organizations. Radio, TV, newspaper, print, advertising, you name it, photography. And by the way, if you're in the industry and you're not in Ad Crafters, you should be. On radio days, does that mean that anybody who puts on a set of headphones is guilty of radio appropriation?
Yes, obviously. Before I let you go, I hope you have the most wonderful Thanksgiving possible.
Well, I appreciate that, Tim. Your wishes are appreciated and well taken. You do the same. 800-923-9385. That's 800-923-WDTK. And here is our wonderful Lansing Yahoo, who says, after 8 years of constant bashing of the president, now it's unpatriotic. I wish you would, you know what? I think I'm going to block that number. I am so sick. He triggers me. He makes me feel bad. Or maybe it's a she. My feelings are hurt. I'm now blocking it. I shall not be triggered anymore. 800-923-9385. That's 800-923-WDTK. This is the John McCulloch Show here on FM 101.5 and AM 1400, The Patriot. A little feisty for a Monday, but hey, I had a great lunch with great people that showed me what a bunch of snowflakes I have to deal with every day, and so do you. And frankly, I think there may be coming, they're very close, maybe coming a time when some of these non-thinking automatons may just in fact start to wake up. But then maybe Mitt Romney was right. Maybe there's just a group of people that aren't reachable and don't really need to be reached. So if you want to earn a little extra money, or if you're really looking forward to breaking free of that job that you don't like and you're tired of being bossed around by somebody, don't want to be, or you like to be your own boss, or maybe you've got a 401k that you'd like to see perform a little bit better, or maybe you just want some extra money. How do you go about doing that? Well, the way you do it, one of the ways you do it, is to find somebody who's done it and then ask them how they did it, and then just turn around and go and do exactly what they did. That's kind of the basis for the thinking at Online Trading Academy. What they do at their permanent campuses, they got 40 of them around the country, and what they do is that they contract with people who are successful in the stock market, people who make their living trading in the stock market, whether it goes up or down. They make money, and they get those people for weeks at a time under contract. They come and they teach the people at Online Trading Academy who want to learn, and that's how they staff their operation. By the way, their core philosophy, their core method is patented. You won't get that at the beginning, but you can at a free 3-hour power trading seminar, sit down and find out how it is that these experts do what they do. That is, make money whether the stock market is going up or down. I can't think of time better spent if you're in the market for making some more money, just a little bit more, or maybe just breaking out and becoming your own boss. A free 3-hour power trading workshop on investment and trading, and it's free. All you got to do is reserve your spot. Here's the number, 844-250-8723, 844-850-0723. That's the number for Online Trading Academy, or you can go to the John McCulloch page at patriotdetroit.com, and the number will be right there along with our other fine advertisers. So the Online Trading Academy, 844-250-8723. Do it today.
Now, on-time traffic and weather on the Patriot.
I-696 eastbound after Southfield Road. Earlier car fire cleared. Traffic is slow from Middle Belt. M39, the Southfield at Plymouth Road, accident with only the left lane open. Slow from Michigan Avenue on the jam cams. I-275 southbound after Ann Arbor Road, accident right shoulder. Slow from M14 and I-96 to Jeffries. I-94 westbound at Lanyo, accident right shoulder. 96 westbound at Milford Road, accident left shoulder. US 23 southbound between M36 and 6 Mile, the left lane closed. Traffic is slow back to I-96, scheduled until 5 a.m. on Tuesday. Hines Drive between Outer Drive and Ann Arbor Trail and Stark Road to Newburgh Road is closed because of flooding. Your weather forecast tonight, mostly clear, a low around 36. Tuesday, a chance of showers after 4 p.m., increasing clouds, a high near 48. Tuesday night, a chance of showers before 8 p.m., cloudy, then gradually becoming partly cloudy, a low around 28. Right now, 44 degrees. I'm Kevin Sanderson on the Patriot, FM 101.5 at AM 1400.
Dr. Richard Klein is a specially educated neuromuscular dentist with over 30 years' experience managing TMJ disorders and obstructive sleep apnea at the Michigan Head and Neck Institute. And we were talking the other night during the show that we did, and there's a lot of people out there who have obstructive sleep apnea, and they know it. And they know it because they used a CPAP for a while, that mask, which, by the way, is very effective and it does work. But then, for whatever reason, claustrophobia, maybe they were perspiring too much, maybe they were knocking the mask off in their sleep or whatever. They just got tired of doing it, and they put it away. By doing that, you are really not doing yourself any good at all. As a matter of fact, you could be slowly hastening your demise, because obstructive sleep apnea, left untreated, can be fatal, and eventually will be if it's left untreated. But the CPAP isn't the only answer. There have been great advances made in the treatment of obstructive sleep apnea. So if you're one of those that's got a CPAP on the closet or in a drawer somewhere, or maybe even threw it away, you need to see Dr. Richard Klein and take a look at some of the options that are available to you. You can do that by going to tmjmichigan.com and getting his number there, where you'll also see the symptoms of TMJ and sleep apnea, and there may be new ones since you checked it. Or you can give him a call, 586-573-0438. Check out your options to the CPAP, 586-573-0438 for Dr. Richard Klein at the Michigan Head and Neck Institute. Please let him know John McCulloch sent you.
The John McCulloch Show is sponsored in part by Azertech Public Adjusters.
FM 101.5 and AM 1400, The Patriot. What we started talking about, and we can change the subject if you like, but what we started talking about is the lunch I had today with some real patriots, Michigan people, and it was so refreshing. And then I walked out into the miasma that I call the radio maze. As I got in my car, I had quite a drive to get to the office. And I was just bombarded from all sides by snowflakia or macadamia. That's academia with a Mac on the front because they're all a bunch of nuts, according to one of my texters. It's astounding, the things they worry about. Who pinched whose butt? Who cares? Let's get on with the business of running the country, of upping the trade, getting more jobs, getting more income, getting more stuff for your family. All this other stuff is just worthless garbage. And we're spending so much time with it. So much time with it. And I think that, and then you've got, and this is coming here, by the way, if we're not careful, there's a French author, a very famous French author, very well respected, says that to prevent civil war, France has got to establish an Islamic state within France where they can practice Sharia law. Otherwise, it's going to be civil war. That's how far they've let it go. And that's how far the other side wants it to go. Because make no mistake about it, where they go, they want to establish a Sharia law. It is, and it's incompatible with the United States. Well, we talked a little bit about that at our luncheon. But I am so flummoxed at the number of people who are concerned with Hillary and Bill Clinton. Who cares? Throw them in jail. Or get started. They'll plead to something if you just charge them with something. No, everybody's, I don't get it. They've been on the, why are they even on the landscape? Hillary got beat. Hillary, you did get beat. Go home. You can't, she stays and fights. Fights what? I don't know. Maybe somebody can tell me. But I will tell you this. When you get forceful with the lefties, when you hit them with facts, they do pretty much cave, which is a good thing. At least I think it is. 800-923-9385. That's 800-923-WDTK. And by the way, the Republican Party is smartening up a little bit. They're starting to push back. If they could just get some help from their rhino buddies, they could accomplish so much. And it's time to do it. The time is now. We're right at the cusp. Don't you see that? And don't you see how the snowflakes will crumble? If you're old enough to remember the first movie, The War of the Worlds, and the first time that one of the humans jumps out and surprises them, and they all run off with their hands up in the air. Things flying off my hands. That's what they're like when you hit them with the logic and the good sense of the right. And it's all there. 800-923-9385. That's 800-923-WDTK. Here's Al in Detroit on the Patriot. Hey, Al.
Hi, good evening, John. You got to remember with this Roy Moore story, where the story comes from in the first place. Even if, let's say for hypothetical, he was 32 dating a 16-year-old. The statutory limitation is 16 if you get your parents' permission down there. Even in Michigan, it's 16 if you get your parents' permission. So let's say you got all these celebrities that marry 20-year-old girls when they're 80. Hugh Hefner was 75 dating 21-year-olds. It was the greatest thing in the world. He was a playboy. I mean, these people are so hypocritical, and where this information comes from. What happened to the women that told Donald Trump that he rubbed up against me one day at a dinner? You know, he touched my shoulder, and I didn't want him to touch my shoulder. We were in a crowded elevator. What happened to those people during the election? What happened to all those women coming out like they were coming out on Bill Cosby? What happened?
I don't know.
Where are all these lawsuits? Gloria Allred was standing and crying and boo-hooing, and she's been a victim, and okay. He's been a judge. He's been a state senator. He's been a Supreme Court down there. I mean, where were all these allegations at that time? Because it was a red state, all Republicans. They looked at it like, oh, well, now he's really coming to Washington. Let's go see. Did they seek out to go and tell their story, or did the Washington Post go knocking on people's doors? Tell us something about him. What do you think? Let's use the Harvey Weinstein situation and make it look like he's a pervert.
By the way, Al, do you know what the age of consent in Alabama was up until the year 1900? 10. I can't make this stuff up. My
mom and my dad are like, I think 12 years apart. She was 16 when she got married. I was back home. So, I mean, they act like that's what they did back then.
Yep. And
a different time, okay. What, are you going to penalize the guy for different times?
I don't know. Al, I appreciate the call. Good thoughts all.
All right, guys.
Have yourself a great Thanksgiving. I'm not kidding. Up until I believe it was 1897 or 98, the age of consent in Alabama was 10. As it was in many other southern states. That was the way of life. Tim, Hazel Park, you're next on the Patriot. Go ahead.
Hello, John. It's getting to the sickening point where you can't even make a statement or anything. You have to strategically plan it out without trying to offend somebody by whatever you say. Any little thing to set this trigger off, and all you are is trying to do is have a conversation. And it's just got to the point where you can't even talk to people even though you're afraid you'll be accused of something.
Yeah, Tim, I don't have a problem with trying to shut down somebody who's being clearly offensive, somebody who's being obscene, somebody who's being, I don't know how else to put it, obscene or suggestive. But if somebody in your office comes in looking really nice one day, to not be able to say, gee, you look nice today, without fear of maybe 10 weeks from then somebody coming back and saying they were triggered by that, I don't get it.
It's getting to the point where you're afraid to say anything. I mean, I have to sit there and figure out what I'm going to say without offending this person somehow sexually or whatever. I don't know what, but
Yeah, no, I do
call
think
women girls. Okay, condescending. So are they women? Are they ladies? Can you call them ladies? I guess you're probably safe with ladies, but you don't even know what to call women anymore because all of a sudden you're being accused of something.
By the way, did you know that France is considering lowering the age of consent to 12 out of cultural sensitivity?
Oh, geez, that really worked good.
No, and we really got to watch France, and we got to watch Germany, and we also should keep an eye on Poland and Hungary, because they're getting the idea. All of a sudden, Hungary says we got to build a wall, and they're right. They do, and so do we. In fact, we're going to be talking about that for the last few minutes of the program. I want to see how people feel about the wall. Everybody was in favor of it before, and we're going to be discussing that now as we continue.
Well, he got voted in on that. That was a big portion of his and now we haven't seen much happen.
Well, there's a lot more going on than you know. But there's also still a lot more violence going on than you know. Tim, got to leave it there. I'm going to run out of time here. Appreciate the call. 800-923-9385. That's 800-923-WDTK. Do you still back Donald Trump on the idea of a border wall to stop the drugs, stop the people, stop the mayhem that's going on our southwest border? 800-923-9385. That's 800-923-WDTK. I got mixed reaction to this today as we were talking about it here at work. I still, by the way, stand firmly. We've got to have it. It's got to be deep. It's got to be technical. It's got to be impervious as you can make a wall. And we got to stop the flow of these cartels, the drugs, the illegals, disease, the violence. The people in our southwest United States deserve the peace that they had before all this garbage started, all this unbridled immigration. That's the way I feel about it. I think that's one of the reasons Donald Trump got elected. I think it's still big on his list, one of the reasons people support him, and I'd like to find out if you are on the same page. 800-923-9385. That's 800-923-WDTK. This is the John McCulloch Show here on FM 101.5, AM 1400, The Patriot. Dr. James Gregg is a chiropractor. He's a very good chiropractor. He's the founder and president of Gregg Chiropractic Life Centers. He is very interested in taking care of the cause of whatever the pain is, not just the symptoms. Because if you get involved in taking care of symptoms, well, you get into things like drugs, and first you start with over-the-counter, and then it works its way up, and pretty soon you're into some sort of opioid situation, and it's a serious problem in the United States. And one of the things that the chiropractic can do, when Dr. Gregg explains it to you, is to take care of the cause of what is making, what's making that hurt there. Why is that hurt happening to you? In many cases, it's the cause of what they call geriatric pain. But geriatric pain is not the cause. Cause was probably something that happened years and years and years ago, and before you probably don't even remember it. And what it's going to take now is some of the advanced computer adjustments and other laser-enhanced decompression and other things that are being used by chiropractic to take care of those problems. Now, every Wednesday he holds a session called the Doctor's Report in Garden City, and every Monday in Troy. And it's very informative, and you can take friends if you like, and you go and you learn, and you can ask questions, and you can ask the hard questions that you think might embarrass him. Nothing embarrasses him. He's happy to talk about chiropractic, and nobody is refused care. That's the one nice thing, or one of the many nice things about Dr. James Gregg. Folks, every Wednesday and every Monday there is a doctor's report. It's a session at 6 o'clock at Gregg Chiropractic Life Centers. Call and get the information on it and make a reservation. 734-525-8422. That's 734-525-8422 for either location. 734-525-8422, and please let them know John McCulloch sent you.
Now, on-time traffic, news, and weather on The Patriot.
M39, the Southfield at Plymouth Road, that accident cleared. I-275 southbound after Ann Arbor Road, that accident on the right shoulder. It's slowing from M14, I-96 the Jeffries. I-94 westbound at Lanyo, accident right shoulder. 96 westbound at Milford Road, accident left shoulder. M10 the Lodge southbound at Telegraph, accident right shoulder. And 96 the Jeffries westbound at West Grand Boulevard, construction in the left lane. It's slow from Warren Avenue. US 23 southbound between M36 and 6 Mile, the left lane closed for construction until 5 tomorrow morning. Traffic slow back to I-96. Hines Drive between Outer Drive and Ann Arbor Trail closed due to flooding, and the Wayne County Light Fest will be closed tonight as well. Hines Drive also closed between Stark and Newburgh Road. The weather forecast tonight, mostly clear, low around 36. Tuesday, a chance of showers after 4 p.m., increasing clouds, a high near 48. Tuesday night, a chance of showers before 8 p.m., cloudy, then gradually becoming partly cloudy, low around 28. Right now, 47 degrees. From the townhall.com newsroom, Detroit police are hunting for the gunman who killed 2 people during an attack this morning at a home in Detroit. Police say the gunman forced his way into the house in the 4000 block of Carter Street, then herded everyone upstairs before shooting and killing a 30-year-old woman. A 24-year-old man was shot and killed as he tried to get away, and a 31-year-old woman was hurt after she jumped from a second-story window. Police say the victims likely knew the attacker. Google is announcing a new office today next to Little Caesars Arena in downtown Detroit. The space on East Henry Street will be nearly 30,000 square feet and will be occupied by over 100 media sales and technical support employees. They'll be moving in from their Birmingham location next spring. And a 10-year-old boy in Warren is continuing his tradition of donating food to people for Thanksgiving dinner. Ewan Drum has been collecting food for the needy since he was 7 years old and says he probably helped out about 1,000 people so far. I'm Kevin Sanderson on the Patriot, FM 101.5 and AM 1400.
Taking care of you. Don't be that guy on the side of the road with a broken down car. Repair now with a BG Coolant Flush. BG is the best, and right now just $99 with a free battery and charging system check at Madison Heights Tire and Auto to get you ready for winter. Includes BG Cooling System Cleaner, 4 gallons of multi-vehicle coolant, and BG Coolant Conditioner. And don't forget your winter tires before the snow flies. Give Madison Heights Tire and Auto a call today, 248-543-4940. Or stop by at Madison Heights Tire on 11 Mile Road in Madison Heights, just east of I-75. Madison Heights Tire and Auto is a proud sponsor of the Patriot Care and Share to thank our local military families.
Taking care of you. Taking care of
The John McCulloch Show is brought to you in part by Dr. Richard Klein at the Michigan Head and Neck Institute.
FM 101.5, AM 1400, The Patriot. Our telephone number, 800-923-9385. That's 800-923-WDTK. You know, we had another Border Patrol guy killed over the weekend. This time, they beat him to death with a rock, crushed his skull. And there are those now who are calling on to deploying the military to our border wall or to our border area, which of course would require some changes in some rules. But I am personally concerned that the people of this country have been so deflected with all this Clinton garbage and with all this snowflake garbage coming out of Hollywood, all this sex stuff and coming out of Hollywood, and all the same thing coming out of Washington, D.C., and all these diversions, deflections, and so forth, that we are losing track of where we were on Inauguration Day, when we were pleased and happy that the country was going to move forward. Now, there was some blockage there. There's been more blockage from the Republicans, really, than there has been from the Democrats. At least the Democrats have been consistent. You can count on them. They're just being obstructionist. But the Republicans have put stoppages on certain things, and then they've slowed down the building of the wall. But I still think that was an integral part of why Donald Trump was elected, and I think it still remains an integral part of why we want him in there. Because Mitch McConnell, the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, the people at Apple, all these, George Soros, all these people, some of whom are associated, and I'm going to say this, not directly, but with organizations that are associated with Hamas and other organizations, they're all for the open borders thing. They're all still pushing it. My concern is that you've lost sight, or that the voters have lost sight, as to what we wanted it for. Now, we once prosecuted, if I'm not mistaken, we prosecuted him. Now, we may not have. But there was threatening to prosecute some Border Patrol agent who'd actually took a shot at some people who were throwing rocks. Well, now we've seen that the rocks can kill. And we got another family without a dad. For what? For protecting our border, which is our border to protect. Now, does that make me some sort of, xenophobe? Does that make me some sort of Hispanophobe or Islam? I don't think so. But I do want the wall. And I'd like to find out in the short time we have left if you'd still do. Because I'm a little bit worried that the fervor, the enthusiasm for the wall has all but disappeared. You don't hear people talking about it anymore, except the people on the border that are begging for it. So let's see what we can do. 800-923-9385. That's 800-923-WDTK. The U.S. Chamber of Commerce needs to be told. Some other people in this country need to be told whether or not the people want the wall. And I'm saying that we do. I'm saying it would be overwhelmingly in favor of the wall. Let's find out. 800-923-9385. It's 800-923-WDTK. Here's Rob in Livonia on the Patriot. Hi, Rob.
Hi, John. You are a watchman. You're telling people what they need to hear because they're not getting it from, the mainstream media. And I'm very, not very discouraged, but I'm not encouraged because I see too many people do not really appreciate the value of their citizenship. That by not doing what they should do, they will eventually become subjects rather than citizens. And I'll give an example. I supported Donald Trump. It wasn't my first choice, but I did support him. And now we have, he's nominated Kirstjen Nielsen for Department of Homeland Security Secretary. She's an open borders zealot. So we have blue-collar people on the union side who will be competing against people, from other places. We have white-collar, both sides are fighting each other. And they don't realize that both of them have targets on their chests.
Afraid you're right. Who was your first choice, Rob?
Ted Cruz.
Mm-hmm. A lot of talk about Ted Cruz at lunch today. I think you're going to be very interested to see something that Ted Cruz comes out with regarding Michigan in the very near future. Remember where you heard that, okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Have yourself a good night, Rob.
Thank you.
Appreciate the call very much. 800-923-9385. That's 800-923-WDTK. Bill and Doris and Randy, I want you to hang right where you are. And if you're not in line, there's room for one more, and I want to make sure I get you all on. So what we're going to do is take a quick break, and then we're going to come back and close out with the phones. Find out about this wall. I guess I would put Ron down on that side. Okay. Got him on the yes side. 800-923-9385. That's 800-923-WDTK on FM 101.5, AM 1400, The Patriot. When you go in to see when you go in to see Ted Cruz, when you go in to see Felix Cruz, I'll get this right. I'm a little bit off tonight for some reason. When you go in to see the folks at Cruz Hearing, you're going to have a very pleasant experience. You're going to have an experience that you're not expecting because no one really wants to go the first time. I know that. I didn't want to go. I didn't even want to make the phone call. But I will tell you this. After a year or more, it's more than a year now, of having my hearing corrected, I honestly don't know how I lived without it. And I don't think you will either. One of the things about hearing loss, it's kind of, some people call it the hidden handicap, is for some reason, even though you can't see that you're having it corrected, or for the most part you can't see it, people have a tendency to feel older or feel, just strange, even having their hearing looked at. Some cases, people go in to see the Cruz family, and all they need is wax cleaned out of their ears, and they can hear fine. And they're very happy to do that. But what they want to make sure of at Cruz is, number one, that you feel it easy. Number two, that you feel that you're part of the family. But most importantly, they want to feel that you get the information you need to make a good choice for hearing correction, no matter where you buy. They will not hammer you like a bunch of commission salesmen. That's not the way they are. 2 locations to serve you, Downriver and Taylor. That's where Joshua Cruz is. His dad, Felix Cruz, is up in Farmington Hills, and the number for both is the same. Take that step. It's a big one, but do it. 877-456-2789. That's 877-456-CRUISE. 877-456-2789. And please tell them John McCulloch sent you.
Now, on-time traffic and weather on the Patriot.
M39, the Southfield at Plymouth Road, that accident cleared. I-275 southbound after Ann Arbor Road, accident right shoulder. Slow from M14 and I-96, the Jeffries. I-696 eastbound after Middle Belt, accident slow from Orchard Lake Road. I-94 westbound at Lanyo, that accident cleared. 96 westbound at Milford Road, accident left shoulder. M10 the Lodge southbound at Telegraph, accident right shoulder. I-96 the Jeffries westbound at West Grand Boulevard, construction in the left lane. It's slow from Warren Avenue. US 23 southbound between M36 and 6 Mile, the left lane closed until 5 a.m. tomorrow, and slow traffic back to I-96. The weather forecast tonight, mostly clear, a low around 36. Tuesday, a chance of showers after 4 p.m., increasing clouds, a high near 4.